I was trying to get
Nulu Leo Wahweeb is Gazathel Hazan Zakazhu Zips Azbambavham Kumbawambam. Now, before I get into what some of these words mean, what is your initial impression of this chant for Samhain?
I felt like flowing waves in deep blue colors. Not like an ocean per se, just like if you could picture energy, if you could see like an energy flow, and it would be blue, something like that.
So, 4 things that are in this chant here. We have on the left center Gazasel, which is the word for cup. And at the top, we have Li O Ehweeb, which is the word for disc. And on the right side, the center of that is Muz and Muzak, because who means sword. And at the bottom there, we have the word for wand. And wand is vum, buv, hum. And
like metal and air.
No, metal's not one of the words, but sword for air, yeah. And so the thing that I have 13 candle flames that will at least be in the start of this ritual. And some of the symbolism there, you know, pumpkin is kind of like a pomegranate in terms of its symbolism. And a pumpkin is, you know, it's like a cosmos, but it's like the parts of the cosmos. So it's a good thing for a start or end of the year, and it's certainly the Celtic year ends and starts about a week into November. Of course, Halloween is the competition with that. The Christians like to put things days or before, usually, sometimes after. St. John's Day, for example, is after the solstice. A trapezoid is a, and there's, I don't remember what else is in there. But we have the lunar day, so new would be the 14th, and you know, starting with the sighting of the crescent moon. But so there's some some tools that I thought to point out. Let me flip to here so I'm sure to show them right. We have gifts from somebody who I call Moon. I haven't spoken to her in years, but you know, we don't need to get into that. But I've knew her for over a decade, and not as long as death. But so there's this rainbowed quartz crystal here, and this crystal ball, which I'm sure is some sort of artificial glass with lead in it, which is something to make note of when it comes to that. And this moon thing here. But it's not
Awesome.
just because she gave me that she got the name Moon. It fits the card a little bit more. And Death, there was a sign that came with this initially, but Death gave me the Samhain one. She pronounced it Samhain, which I think a lot like, just like Tibetan, which some say has their New Year, that has their New Year a week into, at least some variation of them did, a week into, what am I thinking? Not a month into the darker half of the year. So about October 22nd would be like a new year for them. Oh, and you can almost see, you can sort of see through this. But it says summon on the back.
Pretty. That's the
It says
rainbow
summoning on the back there.
Awesome.
And so this one has glitter and stuff like this. So it's supposed to be like a locket. So those three were the gifts for Death, and you know, the ones from Moon. And so I thought this would be a good time to bring those out. And feel free to make any comments on the particular things. Just like I had a sodalite crystal here, I have a snowflake obsidian on silver. I don't have real gold when I have the things, which is fortunate because I don't need extra thousands of dollars of stuff to people readily recognize to come steal from me. But this is a snowflake obsidian.
Pretty. I've got
and it looks a lot darker when you're not shining it, putting a light behind it. It looks like totally black, except for the white, but it doesn't, it looks barely black at all when you hold it up to the light. At least, you know, so I think it appears a lot darker here. So it's obsidian, you know, we don't need to confuse it with a little miss. I bought a ritual murder knife. That's not what here. I have my winter ring. You know, by winter I mean the dark quarter of the year, and it's basically a couple like lesser claws, I guess, and a bear claw. And because and I thought that a pentagram, you know, my Solomonic pentagram with hemp would be a better. Oh, I lost my thought. You know, so you know this.
I've got a
Abdia Haliza Balator Baloni Hali Hara would be the Latin chant for those symbols. And tetragrammaton, of course, there's different tetragrammatons, and Yahweh, of course, is used for different entities. It's not just reserved. People are like, oh, I can't use Yahweh as a term in my magic because I'm not Jewish or something. It's like, first of all, culturally appropriate, whatever you want. Don't fall for that garbage where, oh, you know,
right on. I've got a little crystal ball about kind of like the one you just showed.
And so there's a whole series of chants on this one, and I will send you the graphic, and we'll break this up into different parts here. Okay, so
see,
I'll let you know when it's loading, but I will.
Okay.
So this is the cosmology. That's like Nargargole Shlod's work was like somewhere between things, right? In one sense, it was like Irish sort of stuff, because that's definitely, you know, I bet he speaks Irish. I don't know for you know, well, how can you live in Ireland and not speak Irish, right? But but you know, he gives his little speeches in English, and who knows, some of what he says might be just when he gets drunk. Oh, forget speaking in English, I'm going to speak in Irish. You know, and you know,
that's a very interesting.
He was one of those characters that he you know, he studied and he worked things out, and he put forward a lot of videos. I think I had comments on something like 1,700 videos. So I have more videos to make about him, and I've been given permission to use some of this stuff publicly. And so he had a cosmology that was kind of like the Tiamat cosmology, you know. So you had, you know, you had a mu or mu, and you had Sete on or Sete e ona or Sete e ona or Sete on, and then you had Mecca, and then so mu and, you know, Satan basically are said to have the three daughters, and the three daughters were Murat, Muratazraz, and Murataz. And well, I didn't say it in the right order, but you know, each one adds more. So fire, air, water, and then earth would be the order in which they came. And then you have the Astroba and Anessa and all that, and we'll get into those. And those are sort of like salt, mercury, sulfur, positive, negative, in between. And you have, you have the 9 gatekeepers. And Metzalion are Metzal Alion.
I've heard of that.
So that's like the highest and the lowest, but it's like if you're going to put it in a Kabbalah thing, you're going to have like the below. And see, you see here with the graphic that I sent you, that's how you draw. The little arrows help point out that how to draw the things. And so going from the crown, the other ones are Izu Alion or Iza Alion. And notice that, so just like Lovecraft and some of, there's like the inserting of that in some of those names. Now, everybody that does that, I'm not sure that they're authentically having some sort of spiritual experience to back that up. And so from the right shoulder, you would have Nato Alion, and then you'd have the left shoulder, Emil Alion, and then you have the right elbow would be Elma Leon, and then you'd have for the left elbow Tuz Alion or Teze Alion, and for the pelvis you'd have Anna Leon or Anno Alion, and for the right hand you'd have Leah Talion and Anna Alion. And so I had chants years ago, and you can see the other programs related to that Samhain Rite. Samhain is how to spell that. And we have a listing of verses here related to this. The theme, because death and funerals, gatekeepers, that sort of thing. This is what these verses are referring to. So we have Genesis 3:19, Psalms 23 and 146:4, Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 through 4, Job 14:14, Isaiah 25:8, Hosea 13:14, Romans 14:8, 2 Corinthians 5:6-8, and 7:10, Hebrews 2:14-15, Revelations 1:18 and 14:13. And some of those verses, particularly when we're looking at the Belia portion, to separate it from tonic, of course, there's particularly, we're not going to, I don't, people can intend things how they want. That's how my content is. Your own intentions, your own consciousness or devotion or whatnot, you can do that how you want. But I personally
Right.
don't mean it in the Christian way when I'm saying these verses from what they call the New Testament.
Right.
And I don't mean it in a Jewish way when I'm saying the ones from what people call what the Christians call the Old Testament. For the Jews, it's not the Old Testament. That's not an accurate way of representing what's meant by that.
I understand.
And we have from the Quran, Surah 5, 831, Surah 6, 862, Surah 9, 884, Surah 10, 842, Surah 14, 841 and 40, Surah 17, 823 and 24, Surah 20, 882, Surah 38, 34, and 59, 10. And you see the color orange that has been inserted in the border here. And that has, that has the connection of, my scheme here. And obviously it's squash time. It's leaf. It's a changing leave time. They're going away or they're gone, some of this stuff, but this is what leads up to it, and this is the energy before it like completely rots away and freezes away and all that stuff.
I've heard of the 9 gatekeepers. Is this like are they spirit beings or
it varies per culture, but there's often 9. Now sometimes they dumb down the idea of 7. But the Yazidi stuff, the base stuff, if you get past the stuff that's more popular, you find out about the 9. So you have this group of 7. You have Moloch Taus or Moloch as the, remember that meme I showed you the other day with the statue. And I might as well load it among the things here. But the so Moloch. And the whole thing, and of course Ahriman are Engramenu. So that statue in the right corner, that's Moloch. And of course, I'll get into this more when I actually do the program on this book here. But and I don't know when I'm going to do that. I actually intend to take a month and read some particular literature, and it's going to be amongst that. But some Temple of Blood, some this, and some other. But we have, that statue right there. So Ahaz is mentioned in the Bible with some verses, and so those 3 verses are, those 4 verses that relate to that are straight up there. The most important verses of that story in reference to the Moloch and all that stuff. But the thing about that is it's not, you have to go do human sacrifice and all that other stuff that Alex Jones and all these people think, and Glenn Beck. And, Glenn Beck was a diagnosed schizophrenia, and they hired him for the news because like they could just say, well, no, okay, he's crazy. That's why he said it. It wasn't because, so Fox News had a thing. We want people with ADHD or schizophrenia all over our lineups. So they didn't have to have, hey, we're just being nice to the disabled here. Thank you very much.
No discrimination.
But the so yeah, there was so basically, and Shaitan was one of their names, and Shaitan was, so they were Satan worshippers, because cast out of a place. Come on, cast out of a place with this 7, and basically they formed the 9. And so if it's listed separately here. So you have 3 ranks. You have the 4 ranks of the elementals, and you have the planetary ranking of 9, and so you have these 3 sets of the hierarchy, but then there's this, well, actually 4. So the alchemical types, the elementals, the things, but you have this trinity here. So you have this like infernal trinity over the whole thing. And to iterate, when it comes to elementals, we have the words for the elements themselves. So with myrrh, we have rizix, which is fire. With murataz, we have zolis, which is water. We have zibvi for murat. We have for muratazharaz, Havwazm. So it's sort of a Tiamat myth, but not the newer myths where Marduk takes over. So it's related to that, but some of that we'll get into. So I'll say the poem here, and feel free to break with a comment, but I'm going to break into a few sections what we have on the board. They descend into the slumbers of obscure prophecy. It takes time and practice of all to fall into life and receive the bloody chalice that is freely activated in its potential for maintaining amnesia are filling the space. Okay, well, I'll stop at that point, but what? I'm sorry.
I picked up like levels and steps, like I saw stone steps, so I get levels and steps to that, like newness, like wonder and awe, and reaching new heights. But you know that would lead to wisdom. It would help lead to wisdom.
And I was caught off guard here. So yeah, this is the amnesas is the rank of entities that are more or less neutral things, because as it said, it's not, the mu is not the creation, and not the creation is the idea. So that's the area with that. And we continue here. The real and personal has been actively repulsing with the Astroba. For they are not us in time. So say te own, say te e own say te on is sort of like the negative side. And so we see that sigil there, the different sigil, and up or counterclockwise, so there's a motion to drawing these symbols. So if you see my camera moving about wildly in the middle of the and if the video comes through and all that, you're going to see this is what I'm trying to draw, these symbols here. Okay. And for Mecca, draw that. We have the matter moves and the aphala move with the secret and attractive powers of magic. So we have things broken up into the three types of theism. With that is you have the magical. So the magical is what we finished with, and then we have the atheistic, and then we have the theistic. So to go in reverse order of what we have there. And I need to find myself. I think I'm going to, I may type this one up, make it easier to operate it. I'm way behind that sort of stuff, but it takes time. Okay, where did I? Okay, we ready ourselves for the questioning of the gatekeepers. We hereby deal with the Black Knight, who will challenge and disturb. We are secretly approaching the revealing within the mystery. We are then advised by reversals. Finally, we are properly attached to the master. In a way, we are all theists, magicians, and atheists as we walk the lines in our inner and outer worlds of becoming. Are we firm in what we've earned, or was it appointed unto us? Flexible or rigid, neither us nor not us, and both us and not us is ever presencing. And Ascom, Lux, Love, or something else is our choice of being. And yeah, I'm sorry, the tone, this is harder to read in the graphic than I expected. Behold the dark council of 9. The height of creativity is in earth, but half realized. We are either to question or be inventing. Dance with the animalistic dancing. They find satisfaction in the incarnated soul. The indifferent is immoral. The undesirable is immoral. We are identifying and connecting with our sensitivity, control, a fullness of experience, and with, and winter's renewal of energy. We will achieve intoxication beyond drugs. We claim either hate or ownership. Find your uniqueness. These beings are without our needs and remote. Find your uniqueness and denial. The veils, the thinnest, goes away. All hail the pilgrims of the ninth gate. And of course, I fully intend to put more emotion in the midst of all this, but any ideas before?
I pick up like dancing around a fire.
Definitely plan to do that myself.
Definitely in a counterclockwise way, just over and over and over. I picked up a veil that's getting thin, very thin, and something is like, now's the time, you know.
Well,
again,
the sigil that there's not really directions of, and just draw it how you want. And it's formed a joke on my channel. You see that one down at the bottom there. So that's where That's part of why I say I've said "Hail Saturn" on some of my videos, because his little
Hello.
symbol on the book, if you think about it, it's kind of like some weird bra and panties at the bottom of the thing. So I thought that I thought that one would work
I
with that.
can see that.
But the order there, so the order there of drawing that one is however one wants to draw it, because you know those 4 triangles for the elements, you don't have to draw that, but the you know the other part of it. And so the chants themselves to see, I'm not sure which order to do first other than starting with the other one. So we have sleeve هذيز مزجز هذيز Eve nerve zipbum Eve's he public sleeve and so we have, you know, with that
Yeah.
we have female and we have space and presence and that.
I was thinking of a pink sky with all kinds of little stars. It was really pretty.
And we have real is that Zervuriora? Oh, okay, let me zoom out. Okay, I guess that's how it ends. And then we have, you know, so we have time in that one. New and so that related to magic. And I think the planetary ones would be the ones next. So remember that, you know, the bottom one is really the top and most here. Nargargole, Rahaznarzolam, Rum Evmazix, Lamzolam, Abvmer, Evrixis, Abvmer, Uki, Uzagzorlam, Nati, was Aunu, was Chabo, Zimmelzorlam, Asi, Ilianu, Zahi, Ledvoy, Garzorlam, Kulti, Avak, Vonzorlam, Voy, Zizuvin, Nazit, Nimbanzit, Mungalzorlam, Zizu, Real Chibuk, Razorlam, Yagnomb. And the O's can be not O, but ah, and you know, the flat O. It could be the U's could be instead of oo, and I's could, since the E could be eh, and the E's could be E instead, but the C's are a ch sound. So when I write that, that's what I mean there. And there's no separate chance for the aphala, the amnesa, and the astroba. But the elemental chants, you know, we're starting in the order of, so earth, air, fire, and water, because the dark quarter of the year is earth, and then air, and then fire, and then water. Gat nafi zagbi Orizx nafi rug ug nafiz gaza zulis. And so I want to make sure to have the chant and the basis of everything. So we can do another program, about the others. But any thoughts related to the 9, the 4, the 3, the ranks thereof, and of course the 3 over.
I picked up like mini circles. It's circle after circle after circle, and it started like with a small circle, and then the one behind it is a little bigger, and the one behind it, you know, is a little bigger, and like going through these circles, I don't know if it could be a gate or a level, or not level. That's not a good word, but a stage.
Well, it's like when you talk about angels and wings, and it's like, well, yeah, but not yeah.
Yeah.
Continual
circles.
So yeah, it's an interesting cosmology to work with, and you know,
going through and
but
on.
Yeah, these are the signs to draw in the air.
Right.
And yeah, let me know if you need something clearer, because particularly zoomed up to try to make it easier to read made it harder to read. So I'm going to have to spend some time with the board and figure out whether or not I'm, you know,
yeah, I can zoom in when I get over here on this page. So,
but yeah, you well, one's not as clear, but you know, you go down. So the 3 are very similar. So you have like a Pac-Man mouth going, and you have a Pac-Man mouth going down, and then you have one going up.
I have a Pac-Man mouth. A little wooden Pac-Man mouth.